Here we go. I wanted to make this video for a while now, but other videos took up time, and then I saw my good friend Drewski talk about it, so I wanted to add a little bit more. Here's the deal with Destiny. It is designed to play how you want, and you should play how you want, but there are clear differences in things. It's important to explore those. As a community, we should talk about those things. That's kind of half the fun of it. And what really sucks is that before this conversation's even going to get started, a lot of people already have their minds made up, and that's okay. They're just not going to hear it. CoolGuy, you're crazy. Stompees are fine. I'm open to debate. I always have been, and I've heard reasons for literal years as to why Stompees are fine. And I'm still open to debating it, but I still don't agree. It's going to be a fun conversation. I mean, look down below. There's literally 0 dislikes on this video. Think about that. But as I go through this, if you're a Stompee main and you just can't bear the world where they're nerfed, the poor hunter can't compete anymore. Ask yourself this question. Actually, you know what? Don't. You know exactly why you're using them and why you don't want them to go away. I'll get into that later. There's a lot of layers to this video, but I first want to take a look back at the design goals for this game. To me, as a player, this was a very profound message. Something to this day I remember. Because when Destiny started, I wondered how they were going to tackle this game. I want to first start with the basic balance philosophy. Though different leads of the game have come and gone, Bungie has stayed true to their balance philosophy. Nowadays, it isn't as black and white as it once was, but it's not gray either, it's just in less words. Let's travel back to October 17th, 2014. Some of you were in middle school and high school, and I bet some of you straight up went to college and became a doctor recently from when this was first posted to when I am reading it right now. October 17th, 2014. Well, actually, I'm gonna go back a couple days to one of the first balance passes for Destiny 1. A few days before, on October 14th. Some interesting things here like hand cannons, in-air accuracy now increased, scout rifles, 6% damage buff, the Vex Mythoclast nerfed 34%. They went ahead and took off enhanced battery for a special reload perk on Pocket Infinity. It's just different times, guys, different times. Fast forward to the 17th, this is where I officially want to start. This was posted by the amazing Deej. Great dude, he laid a solid foundation with nerfs and buffs. Let's talk about why we do these things. I've talked to a lot of our developers about the update that went live. The main theme that emerged from every conversation can be summarized like this. There should be no single answer on how to win in Destiny. And a little bit later, to understand what weapon balance means at Bungie, skip to 2040 mark of the Bungie podcast. And also, I missed the Bungie podcast. Balance is not about everyone being equal, but rather that not everybody is doing the exact same thing. If everyone is doing the same exact thing, something is not balanced. Everybody is trying to pursue the same unbalanced thing. Now, I would like to assume, but I really can't, so I'd like to think, that these statements are still true, no matter who is leading development teams there at Bungie. I don't think a dev would look at what they said back then, that there should be no single answer for how to win in Destiny, and think, nah, that's changed, psych, we ain't doing that no more. That was talking about weapons, but it's for the whole game, all of it, for balance. We have seen it with abilities, armor, and more in the past, and with feedback, it's very important to lay out the why. As a player, why does it make you, and how does it make you feel that way? I plan to go over my issues with Stompees, and I do have some suggested changes. For some of them, believe it or not, it's actually a buff to them. It depends on what route they want to go. This video is layered. So with the starting statement of there should be no single answer for how to win in Destiny, and importantly, balance is not about everyone being equal, but rather that not everybody is doing the same exact thing. If everyone is doing the same exact thing, something is not balanced. Let's think about the old competitive game mode, going for Luna. Not forgotten. Think about Trials of the Nine, Trials Now. Think about heavy skill-based matchmaking shifts, whether that be for quick play or in Trials with the flawless pull. Think about all of it. Then think about how long Stompees have been around the way that they are. And let's imagine for a second, out of all of those games played, all of those comp matches, all of those games collectively for the past 3 to 4 years, what do you think the pick rate is for Stompees versus all other Hunter exotics in competitive trials for the past 3 to 4 years? Would you bet your entire vault, your most coveted roles, that Stompees is not the #1 pick for the game modes in the past and going on currently? And as the player KD goes up for a Hunter, the ones that are die-hard Hunter mains, above 2 KD and beyond, what would you bet that the Stompees isn't the top pick in that demographic? Can you see where I'm going so far? There is no issue with picking the right choice, but it has been the right choice since the beginning, and it's gone on for way too long. Since the beginning, all the exotics that have come out, Radiant Dance Machines, Bombardiers, new exotics all over the place, they compete against the bar, and the bar is Stompees. And after 3 to 4 years, if nothing is changing in a player's loadout, and everything is still being compared to Stompees, what does that say about Stompees? Because all the new exotics aren't bad. And think about all the new exotics coming out with Witch Queen and beyond. These are the things I think about. So what's wrong with them? The main issue with them is how they do what they do with zero penalty. I see a lot of people cross-compare. Well, if you nerf Stompees, you need to nerf the dunes. And if you nerf the dunes, you need to nerf the transversus steps. Well, if you're nerfing the transversus steps, you need to go after Ophidians because they're free too. And if you nerf Ophidians, you need to nerf and so on. I get it. First of all, I do play Hunter the most. I want to get that straight. So this isn't coming from out of left field from any other direction than the way I'm going. In the case of the increased sprint speed, which they all give, dunes, steps, and Stompees, that translates to speed and slide. Sure, if you want to nerf all three of them, do it, if that would make you feel better. But in that space, Dune Marcher's secondary effect did get adjusted recently to not chain off dead bodies, and for 2 seconds you can't get chained. You need to sprint for a little bit to get that chain lightning. The steps, you need to sprint for a little bit to get their secondary effect, a reload, which can mess up things like kill clip and messenger. Stompees, they're just the way that they are. Look at those long patch notes of ability exotics cutting 50% and this and that. The Hunter has the best movement kit in the entire game from the beginning, there's no question. In the background, you're seeing my good friend Cam showing that space of what they all can do. Sure, slide on in with the dunes, you got that catapult lift, you're all over the place, you're crazy. And you look at the dunes, see where they go in and out, they're weaving. Maybe you put on Behemoth with Cryoclasm, the long slide. You need to be sprinting to get that effect. Or maybe you go to the steps on Warlock. Maybe there's an Icarus dash in between them, getting that evade going, the burst glide, the little power fluffles. But when you look at Stompees, one of these things is not like the other. And one of these things is absolutely free. Would you agree with that? Just active at all times. And with what Stompees do, and Stompee mains, you have to agree with me right here on this. You have to admit, you know exactly why you're using them, and this is the reason you don't want them nerfed. You are using them because you are so fast at everything you do with zero penalty that you're not punished for bad plays, you're not punished for bad positioning, you get bailed out. And it is easier to outplay your opponent. You are faster than them, you jump higher than them, you slide further, you change directions coming out of your dodge faster, your aerial play is better, way better, all of it. Let's remember here, I do hear the term skill gap a lot and then the infamous movement skill gap. Look, at the core, what you do with Stompees is literally the same thing you would do anyway. It's the same exact inputs. It's just that you have crazy momentum, you do it all faster, and in a game where all that matters, you get it all for free. That's why you don't want them nerfed. It's for doing something you would do normally anyway, and the only skill gap within that movement that is going on is within the Stompee Hunter mains. Because nothing else matches it. And it's kind of funny, the Dune mains, the Steps mains, the Stompee mains, it's kind of like Fight Club. What is the first rule of Fight Club? Well, we need to. I've said this phrase in multiple times in videos, multiple times. The Stompee Hunter plays a different game than everybody else. If you put on Stompees, you can more easily get away from any roaming super in the game. If you have on Stompees, and you're trying to chase down a roaming super, you can more easily catch it, for free. Each class is designed to do different things. But the Stompee Hunter is elevated for free for doing nothing, all of these abilities getting nerfed tomorrow, all these exotics getting nerfed. But life goes on with the triple 100 stat Stompee Hunter. Life doesn't change one bit. And with the pillars, the goals they set out for the upcoming nerfed ability sandbox is weapons are the primary way players engage combat. Non-super abilities accentuate or augment the combat, but should rarely solve an encounter by themselves. Abilities have clear strengths, weaknesses, and counterplay. Build crafting is rewarding with the moment-to-moment combat loop of Destiny. Okay, what is this right here? Let's remember what this is. That's right, say it together. These are abilities. With one exotic that works with all 10 ways to play a hunter, you slap them on, there's nothing to worry about build crafting, because you're able to do the same thing you've been doing for 3 to 4 years. And the stats you're able to build into, such as 100 recovery, high intellect, whatever it is. You don't have to build into your Ahamkara Spine disciplines, because you're always going to recover faster than them. They made it to where the mobility stat, your strafe and your jump, is always going to be fast on Hunter because it's tied to the dodge. And what you've been doing for the past 3 to 4 years is so good. Everyone knows that you're doing it, and you're still outplaying them. That's how good they are, because there is no penalty at all. So what about these should get changed? What is a reasonable cost effect? Well, there are a number of routes. Maybe sprint for a couple seconds, 3 seconds to be able to activate that slide. Maybe put a little counter on the screen for how long you get that movement, for how long you get that momentum with your jumps. Because out of the gate, hydraulic boosters increase sprint speed and slide distance, improves high jump, strafe jump, and triple jump. So one of the first things that could be touched is this, make them only work with high jump. This is going to place them in the air higher and longer. The second way would be kind of a buff to them, but you need a cost for it. What is the most important skill of the hunter? Well, one of the most important skills, one of the most coveted cooldowns, that is the dodge. A lot of exotics have to burn the dodge to get benefit, such as Dragon Shadow. But for Stompees, I would like that dodge burn to activate it to get some benefits. But not only that, I would like it to get the backers treatment. Once you dodge, the counter light shift goes on the screen. You cannot regenerate your dodge for that time frame. What if once you dodged, hydraulic boosters would be on the screen, but for 5 seconds, 7 seconds, maybe even 10 seconds, you cannot gain any dodge ability in that time frame. Once the counter is over, you start getting the dodge ability, but in that time frame of hydraulic boosters only, it would get a buff to the slide distance similar to what Behemoth has. And I would add in what Bones of Ao did, add a 4th jump to triple jump. So you get 5 to 10 seconds of crazy movement, but you have to burn your dodge and get in your 30-second cooldown to grab those 5 to 6 seconds. That is the cost. And of course there are variables, but that's the base of it. You can do it a number of different ways here. Make it only work with 1 jump, add on another jump like Bones of Ao did. Have a delay like Bacchus. Maybe keep them the same exact way, but have that penalty of having to burn the dodge to get it going. There's a number of ways. But it's not just the slide like the dunes and the steps. It's the full hunter kit being elevated for completely free. That is my issue. And we know it's an issue because of what I went through earlier in the video. They are still the bar, even now to this day, going into 2022. If that is the case, something isn't right. As the game evolves, like abilities we have tomorrow, good exotics say they come out and they don't meet the bar, then what are we doing here? It's gone on for way too long. It's been free for way too long. And I don't pound for pound compare them to dunes and steps, even in a vacuum, because they are built different. What they are, we know what they are. With them on, they play their own game. Nothing in the game matches it. It gets you out of bad positions. It allows you to go pure speed with 0 penalty. They are a crutch. You know why you're using them. You use them because they don't have them on or they can't have them on. And when this happens, you have a clear edge, an edge for free. And if balance is not about everyone being equal, but rather that not everybody is doing the same exact thing, and if everyone is doing the same exact thing, something is not balanced, where does that leave Stompees? You tell me. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. If you're looking for a new controller, I am partnered with Scuff Gaming. Use the link down below and my code COOL at checkout for a discount. Keep it civil. My whole stance is based on the balance philosophy of the game, combined with how the sandbox keeps shifting, it's ever evolving, and how it's completely free to your build to be able to do the things that no other character can do with them on for free, and how they are still the bar years later. Let's talk about it down below, and who knows, maybe in tomorrow's 30th anniversary patch, they're gonna get hit. It is worth talking about, so let's talk about it. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.